Stay. All right, this is going to be my gear list for my upcoming CDT hike. This will be the section I'm starting with, the Silver City through the Gila River Valley. Hopefully I'm going to do the alternate. They've had a lot of snowfall. I think it's like a 20-year high for snowfall out there. So I want to do the alternate through the Gila River Valley. I don't want to do the ridges. I actually want to go through the river. So this will be the setup I'll take through there. And I'll be switching out once I get to the South San Juans, and we'll see what the conditions are there. I've got a winter setup that I'll be taking with, micro spikes and an ice axe and stuff like that. But I'll play it by ear when I get out there. But this is for the desert section. This is it's an ultralight setup. It's made for 40 degrees and above. Minimalist, but I have luxuries. I can't do without my luxuries. So what I'll do is I'll break it down into sections and probably go in depth like I sometimes do on my gear videos. And I'll break it down into my big 3/4, and then I'll do my clothing, and then I'll do my accessories and my ditty bag and stuff like that. And it's going to be long, probably like my last one, but I kind of like to explain things out, and hopefully people enjoy it. And so we'll break it down. All right, this is my big 3/4. And this is the absolute lightest setup that I possibly can go with. And like I said, this is good until about 40 degrees. Below that, you're going to want a little extra warmth. Really, really light. Combined, this big 3/4 weighs a little over 3 pounds. You really can't get much lighter than that and have full comfort. I mean, I've got a tent and a pad, a nice thick pad. But we'll start out with my quilt, and this is a Western Mountaineering. It is a nanolite 38-degree quilt. It weighs 11 ounces. Now, this thing was great. I took it to Maine last year, did the 100-mile wilderness with it, hammock camping, and it worked great. And even in a hammock, hammocks are notoriously cold, and this thing worked awesome. It compresses down to next to nothing. Like I said, 11 ounces, it's pricey. It's expensive. You can look up the costs. You can get deals on it, but Western Mountaineering Nanolite 38. Now they make an Astrolite, which I think is around a 20-something degree quilt, which is very similar, just a little extra down in it, but this thing weighs nothing. I mean, really, it weighs nothing. 11 ounces. Awesome. My pad I use, this is a Neoair xlight. This is the torso pad. I think it's 20 by 48. Works great with the quilt. And what I do with this, I'll explain after I show you the pack. But this thing works great, weighs 8 ounces, super light, nice and cushy. I think it's like 2.5, 3 inches thick. What I do is I'll leave it deflated just a little bit, and it gives you a little more cushion in it. If you blow it up all the way, it's very firm, but if you leave a little air out of it, this has an R value of 3.2, so you get quite a bit of body heat reflected back towards you. Love this pad. So what I do, my pack, this is a Zpacks. It's a Nero. What I've done is I've switched out the regular pad that comes here. Zpacks has their own little sit pad that they throw in here, but I cut my own little seat pad that I use. It's a Thermarest xlight pad, and I just cut a little section out that fits right in there. So what I do at the end of the day, I mean, this works great as a sit pad during the day, but at the end of the day, when I'm going to sleep, what I'll do is I'll take my torso pad and I'll just lay my pack at the bottom of it, so my feet actually rest on this, which is an insulated pad, and it just works great. I mean, I'm not that tall, I'm 5'8", and with a short torso pad and this underneath my feet, I mean, it's perfectly warm. I mean, it works great for me. So the Zpacks Nero has an option, and you can buy a belt for it with pouches that go around. They're padded pouches, so if you don't want this, you can just wear it as just like a regular pad or regular pack without the belt, or you can put these little pouches on. They add, I want to say, an ounce, maybe 2 ounces to the weight of the pack, which is already just unbelievably light. And what I do is I'll keep my ditty bags type stuff in here. I'll keep like my medicines, my first aid kits, and then I'll keep repair kits in the other side. And takes a lot out of the pack, which they recommend your base weight to be 7 pounds if you're going to use this pack. I've had no problems with it. I load it down. It's supposedly waterproof. It's a Dyneema fabric. This pack weighs 10.8 ounces without the belt attachments, and like I said, I think these weigh an ounce, maybe 2, so you're talking at the most, this is a 13-ounce pack. So very, very lightweight, very comfortable as long as you don't overload it. You throw 25 pounds in this pack, you're going to feel it on your shoulders. But with the belt pouches and the belt, it takes a little weight off your shoulders. So, you know, you could possibly load this thing up to 30 pounds and it be comfortable. So that's the combination I use, and like I said, it works great. Laying at the end of my thermarest, keep my feet on that, just toasty warm. This, I mean, really, 8 ounces for a sleeping pad. You've got 11 ounces for a 38-degree quilt, and then you've got 13 ounces for a pack. That is ultra light. Combine it with my Zpacks duplex. Very, very spacious. Now, I've done a couple of reviews on this. It's 21 ounces. I have the thicker Dyneema fabric. I have the spruce green color. And love this tent. Really like this tent. Can't imagine going back to any other kind of tent. But with it, I will use MSR mini groundhog stakes, and it takes 8 of those. I'm not sure exactly the weight of these. They might weigh maybe an ounce or 2 more than like the titanium shepherd's hooks, but 8 of these, and I've used these for years. These things are just indestructible, and you know, they're a triangle shape, and I've said in other videos, I mean, these things are just bulletproof. I mean, I have taken rocks and beat these things down in the ground and never bent one. They hold in all types of soil. I mean, you know, they're just they're a go-to for me. I won't go to anything else but these. They're, you know, for an extra ounce maybe, can't beat these. So this is my big 3/4 setup, and I'll throw it in the pack and we'll weigh it up, but it's I mean, really, for your big 3/4, this combination is about as light as you can get and have this comfort. I mean, you've got a beautiful, super comfortable mattress. I mean, you could go lighter, possibly, if you went to one of those little 1/8" foam, crappy foam pads that is absolutely uncomfortable. But when you set it up like this, I mean, it's you just can't get much more comfortable than that. So let me throw all this in and weigh this, and we'll see what the big 3 comes up at. All right, there's so little in this kit. I mean, it's a warm weather kit, like I said, 40-degree minimum at night. You're good to go. I can get all this in one take, so it'll be a long, drawn-out take, but hey, you know, what the heck. I got plenty of luxury items in here, and it's still going to be well under 10 pounds for the whole gear loadout. So what I'll start out with is I will go through the clothes, and then I'll switch to the ditty bag and the accessories. Clothes starting out, I'm going to take one jacket, which is a fleece jacket. This is my little trusty North Face fleece. The thing I like about the fleece is if it gets wet, it still insulates and it dries out relatively quickly. Now I've had this for years. Not sure what model North Face it is. It's just a basic North Face. It's got a little pocket. That's the only pocket it's got. I want to say it weighs 8-9 ounces, something like that. It's what I wear around the campfire because you can see by the patches I have numerous little pop, crackle fire holes that have set this thing on fire, but love this thing. Fitted under a windproof layer, very, very warm for the weight. Down, I'm not going to need down on this trip because it's going to be pretty warm, so that's my jacket. Clothes bag is a Zpacks, I think it's an extra large. That's what I keep my clothes in to keep it dry. Love the Zpacks stuff, never had an issue with it, waterproof, durable. For me, it's well worth the money. So that's what I keep the clothes in. All right, my buff. I'll take this everywhere, no matter what. I mean, it's good for just about everything. You can wear it as a hat, neck gaiter. Yeah, you can do all kinds of things with it. I'll cover my pillow with it at night, make my pillow nice and soft. And, you know, just a handy thing. Don't go without it. Speaking of pillows, this is a Klymit Static X pillow. Weighs 2.5 ounces, blows up pretty fat. Like to have a pillow. I mean, it cradles your neck, you know, and I just sleep so much better with a pillow. It's a luxury item, but I carry it because I like to sleep comfortable. Yeah, 2.5 ounces. A lot of people would consider this luxury. For me, I carry it just for the comfort. All right, I'll take a bag liner. This is a Sea to Summit silk bag liner. Not sure, I think it weighs like 3 ounces, something like that, but I like to keep this between me and my sleeping bag because your bag or quilt, if it's a down, you don't want to get the funk on you. I mean, this thing will absorb your stinkiness and sweat, and you know, any evaporative moisture that comes off your body will soak up to this before it gets to your bag. So I always carry this. Easy to wash, a lot easier than washing a down bag. So I carry that. Let's see. This is a microfiber towel that I use just for general wiping down your tent if it's wet, condensation in your tent if it's wet. You can also use it to give yourself a nice little creek bath if you get a little funky. Of course, everyone gets a little funky, but I carry that. Bandana, you know, just a general purpose rag. You never know what you're going to need it for. And I'll just carry that. All right, clothes-wise, I will take an extra pair of underwear, an extra pair of hiking socks, and I will carry a pair of socks just to sleep in, just so, you know, keep your feet a little extra warm. Gloves, I carry, these are just some Nike running gloves. They're fleece lined running gloves, like these. Very warm. I mean, you know, chances are you're not going to need these in the desert, but I'll carry them anyway just in case you have a cold morning. And then the old trusty nitrile mechanics gloves, which I will fit on top just in case. You never know, you know. You put these on, you've got a nice set of waterproof gloves, extra warmth. I've used these for years, work great, never got a hole in them. I'll carry 2 pairs of these just in case. So I'll have 4 of those. And rain protection when it's that warm. This is a Frog Togs poncho. It's very light. It's got the snaps on, so when you put it on, you can drape it over your pack and just snap it under your pack. Keeps your pack dry, keeps you dry. And when the temperature's warm, this is all you need. I mean, really, you don't need much more than this. So that is the extent of my clothes. Hydration. Going through the desert section of the CDT. I know the Gila River Valley has tons of water, but I will carry 2-liter Smart Water, Life Water bottles with the aqua clips, and I like the flip caps because you can just flip them and squirt. You know, the twist caps, they're alright, but I like this. I will carry, this is a Evernew, this is actually a 2-liter Evernew bag. So that makes 4 liters there. And we get to the water filtration, and I have a 32-ounce squeeze sawyer filter, so that adds another liter. So I have 5 liters total of water capacity if I have to. And this thing's great. What I've done is I've punched a few holes in the bottom, so make it a gravity filter system. So I get to a spring or a water source, fill this up. Your Smart Water bottles screw right into the bottom of it. This little adapter, got off Amazon, it's like $1. Screws on the bottom of your Sawyer filter. Also enables you to screw your Smart Water bottles and the Evernew. So makes it a really good drip filter setup. Excellent combination. So that's my purification / water storage of 5 liters. Have a little scoop because in the desert sometimes you come up on some cattle troughs and just nasty, just stagnant pools. You need a way to be able to get some water out to get in your filter. So this is just a Sawyer bag that I cut off. Weighs next to nothing, folds flat. PVC pipe I carry all the time. It's just a, it works great if a spring is just trickling slowly down a little incline. What you can do is take and tap it up into the water source, and after a while it'll clear out and water will drip out. You can hold your bottles underneath it. I mean, it weighs next to nothing. This has come in handy many times in the past. So that's my water filtration system. Clothing, pillow. All right. This is a Tyvek sheet. I just carry this with me. It's a 2x4 Tyvek sheet, which you can use to sit on. You can use to, I use it as a doormat to my tent sometimes. I just want to put gear outside the you know, in the vestibule on my tent. This thing weighs nothing. waterproof. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Very handy. Flip-flops, camp shoes, luxury, great, love them. Use these all the time. I mean, after you've hiked all day in the rain, your feet are soaked, your socks and your shoes are soaked. Take those off. You get to put these on. Your feet get to air out a little bit. The nasty waterlogged feet that you have that are prone to cracking if you don't dry them out. You need something to put on at the end of the day. You can also use them to cross creeks. These are Old Navy, from Old Navy, and I want to say they're like $2. They weigh 4 ounces. Used these for years. Haven't had any issues with them. Highly recommend these for camp shoes. You know, Crocs. Crocs weigh like 10, 12 ounces. These things weigh 4. You know, this is my choice. My choice. All right, so left we have, this is my food bag and cook kit. Food bag is a Zpacks food bag. It's a little heavier duty. Love this thing. I've used this for a year or two now, and the thing works awesome. Carry a little 40-foot Dyneema cord if I want to hang it on a tree or not. Lately I've gone to the sacks, the odor-proof sacks, and you know, I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I keep my food in the odor-proof sacks. Keep them in here and just keep them in my tent, and I haven't had an issue. The odor-proof sacks work great with rodents. You don't have to worry about the mice. So far, fingers crossed, I've never had an issue. Never had a bear try and get in my tent. But if I was in a very bear-prone area, I would probably use the sacks in the food bag and hang it in a tree. So there's sections on the AT that are just, you know, very bear prone, and I would go that route. So Zpacks food bag. This is a toaks spoon, smooth bowl. I like these things. They're long. You can get down in your meals, your mountain house meals, or if you're cooking anything in a Ziploc, like you want to throw ramen or mashed potatoes, or make your own backcountry concoction, which is, you know, popular with the hikers. This thing works great. Not that heavy. Like this thing. Recommend this. This is a timberbrothers. It is a 600 or 650 pot, and your gas canister fits in it perfectly. It's got a lid, so cooler weather, your water will boil a whole lot faster. Big enough to cook some ramen in, big enough to cook some meals in. Plenty big enough to cook or heat the water up for any kind of mountain house or freeze-dried meals. I carry a Bic lighter. I carry a rag. It's a half of a bandana that I cut off just because this thing gets hot, and if you put it in the fire, and you know, you always need a little rag just to pick it up. Handy little thing. It all fits in my little combination just great. BRS 3000 stove. I've talked about this in prior videos. It is a Rubik's Cube puzzle to get the arms out straight, but 20-something grams, less than an ounce, and it works awesome. I mean, I've used this for years. Not an issue at all. It doesn't have a lot of adjustment, like I've said in the past. You've got it on. You got it maybe medium, and then you got it full blast. Those are your options. But you know, if you're just heating up water with it, that's great. I mean, this thing works awesome. Just miniature little stove. I mean, can't recommend this enough. Never had an issue with it. So that's the cook setup, and I keep it in this is a old Primus bag that I have. This thing works great you know, if you've got a mountain house meal or even a Ziploc meal that you're cooking, you can put it down in this and it insulates it. Works great for that. You can eat out of it. I like to use that. All right, so that's the cook system. Now this is my first aid. Call it the Ditty bag. This is just a regular Zpacks. I'm not sure what size that is, but that's what I keep all this stuff in. Now this is the first aid kit, medicine. You know, a lot of your hardcore ultralighters won't carry a bunch of this stuff, but you know, I want to be comfortable, so I carry all this stuff. Start out, I'll have, this is my dental hygiene setup, which consists of cheap CVS toothbrush. I like these. They're light, you know, and it gives you a long handle. A lot of people take a real toothbrush and just cut the handle off, and I just rather have a little leverage. But love this thing. Like I said, very light. Mini toothpaste, and I'll just carry a full-size thing of dental floss because I like cleaning my teeth at the end of the day. So, dental hygiene. Alright, so what we have here is my emergency kit. And what I keep in here is my first aid setup. Now in here I'll have Band-Aids, I have tape, I have antibacterial gel, I have alcohol swabs, I have gauze, I have regular tape, and then I have KT tape. And you know, this is just general first aid. It's not that heavy. I mean, it's good for blister care, bug bites, you know, all that kind of stuff. And you know, I'll carry this no matter what. Very, very rarely do I use it. You know, I get a cut and a scrape every now and then. I'll use a Band-Aid, but luckily I haven't had to use any of this stuff for, you know, anything major, but I'll still carry it just in case. Be prepared, you know, Boy Scout motto. This is a little bag of extra wet wipes. Now I do carry wet wipes, and I'll keep them in the my fanny pack with other little knickknacks. I'll explain that in a minute. But this is just a backup in case you run out. You know, 5 or 6 sheets as an emergency setup. You gotta have it. All right. Here is a repair kit for, you have Dyneema tape for a tent fix, and you can use this on a lot of stuff. You know, you can use it on multiple things. The Dyneema tape is really, really sticky. It works on just about everything. But I use that for my tent, and also if I'm hammock camping, I have a Dyneema tarp that I'll use. This is a sewing kit, which is like I got out of some crappy hotel I stayed at one time, and it is a mix of thread, a couple of needles, a couple of buttons, and a small safety pin. Just never know when you want to stitch something up. Also, when you're stitching things up, you can use dental floss if you have to, if you run out. So that's a good little fix-it kit. This is a mattress repair kit for your Thermarest, your Neoair, or my Xtherm. Just a patch kit, because you never know. Gotta have that if you know you set your pad up on a rocking or a sharp piece of glass and you pop it. You got to be able to repair it, or you'll have a miserable night. Also in the repair kit, I have a Sawyer filter gasket, because notoriously these things go missing. I haven't had one happen myself, but I'll keep it just in case. So I'll put that in there. I have a extra O-ring for my BRS stove, just in case that thing goes kaput in the middle of nowhere. I have a extra smart water bottle cap. I have, oh, where'd that go? little tube of super glue. That's also a first aid thing. You can use it on other stuff, but if you get a really bad cut out in the middle of the backcountry and you know, super glue will seal a cut very, very well. So highly recommend taking that. Here are some aqua tabs. Now these are chlorine tabs that you can use to purify water. I'm not sure exactly how much. That probably is 10 tablets, and I want to say that each one treats a liter. I could be wrong, but I want to say each one treats a liter. So, you know, if your filter, if you're stupid enough to leave your filter out when it's cold and it freezes, your Sawyer filter has a membrane in it, and if you leave it full of water and it gets below freezing, it will expand and crack. And you can't tell that the filter doesn't work. It will still filter, but you know, your nasty bacteria, beaver fever filled water will run right through into your good water bag and you have no idea. So if you accidentally screw up and freeze your filter, just a little backup till you get to town. Smart water caps, all this might seem like overkill, but you know, just through my experience, these are little safety precautions that I will carry. All right, medicine wise, also a lot of these things, you know, your really hardcore ultralight backpackers won't carry this stuff, but I'll put it in there. I don't care. This is an Afrin decongestant, and you get out there, your allergies kick in, your nose is completely stopped up, you can't sleep at night. This thing probably weighs a couple of ounces. I don't care, I carry it. A good night's sleep is very, very important for me. Bag balm. Now this stuff is all purpose. It's a petroleum jelly, and it works on chapped lips, chapped skin, works great on chafing. If you're sweating and you chafe, you know, in the sensitive areas, you can throw some of this on. Also, it burns, so you can actually use it as a fire starter. Bag balm, a little tube of that. Hand cream, Neutrogena, you never know. I just carry it. You get lotion, it's just lotion. You get some dry skin, I want to throw on there. Probably weighs an ounce, but you know, I carry it in there because I carry this crap. All right, so here we go with the medicine type stuff. All right, I do wear one contact in my right eye, and I carry an extra case. I will carry, I don't know where they are. Oh, here they are. I carry a couple extra contacts, and I will carry solution. This is an old Visine bottle. It's an ounce Visine bottle that I fill with contact solution. So that is my contact kit. 2 pairs of earplugs. You know, and a lot of the section hikes I do with my Bourbon boys, or my little section hike group, 2 of those guys snore like a freaking freight train. So if I'm anywhere near those, I gotta have earplugs or I'll be up all night listening and cussing those assholes. But all right, ibuprofen, carry that. Antacid tablets, I carry that. Antacid chews, I carry those. You never know, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you know, you gotta have some relief. My extra Bic, I always carry 2 Bics. I always have a backup just in case the other one goes bad. Just the small ones. This is Pepto-Bismol chews and allergy antihistamine. These are Benadryls, and you know, like I said, you or someone you know gets stung by a wasp and they have an allergic reaction, or just allergies in general. Just a handy little thing to have. Just throw 6 of them in your pack. Same with the Pepto-Bismol. You know, you get the squirts, chew a couple of these, hopefully it'll go away. So this is my first aid / repair setup. Now, some people might call it overkill. This is just what, over the years, what I've come to carry with me just in case, and I don't want to get out in the woods and be a couple of days out from a car or away from any kind of help. This weighs a little bit, but in my opinion, it's well worth carrying. So that's my setup. So what I'll do is I'll put all this in and we'll throw it all in the pack and we'll weigh it up and we'll see what we come to. And let's see, oh I forgot my fanny pack. This is a light AF fanny pack, which I've come to really like. And what I do with this is I keep all the stuff that I'll need when I get into town in this fanny pack, or for emergency type services, like wet ones. Never know when nature's calling. Keep those handy. In here I'll keep my battery pack. I will keep my charging block. I will keep my cables, charging cables and headphones in here. And I will keep my headlamp, which is a Nitecore NRS 25 maybe, which I took the big fat heavy strap off and just added a little, just a small bungee cord on there. Makes it a lot lighter. This thing is awesome. It weighs an ounce, and you've got really different bright settings on white. You push the other button, you've got red, and just a awesome light. It's rechargeable, which I can recharge with my battery pack, and I just carry an extra charge cord for it. So what I'll have is I'll have a charge cord for my phone and a charge cord for my headlamp. Keep all this in my fanny pack, so when I get to town, it's all very handy. I can ditch my pack and I've still got all this. I go into a restaurant, I see an outlet, I can just throw the plug in and start charging all my stuff. So the fanny pack's really handy. Like I said, keep the wet wipes in close to you. I also keep my instrument of protection. This is a vicious carbon fiber knife. Now, this thing weighs next to nothing, but this thing saved my life one time. I was attacked by an angry squirrel, and it really came for me, and this was big enough to take care of that squirrel. Weighs next to nothing. Good. I mean, if you're going through a resupply, you want to open up your package that you got at the post office, you know, cut something around camp. This thing weighs, I don't even know, it doesn't weigh very much at all. It's carbon fiber. Can't remember where I got it somewhere, but it's my handy little knife, so that's what I carry. I keep that in my fanny pack. Fanny pack I don't really include in my base weight because it's a lot of necessities, or really luxuries, other than my headlamp. Now the headlamp weighs an ounce that I'll keep in there, but all the other stuff is, you know, you're not going to carry that on an overnight or just a small section hike. But so yeah, this is it. This is the lightest weight setup that I have, and like I said, it's good for 40 degrees and above, and this will be perfect through the New Mexico desert, through the Gila River Valley. What I will add once I check into it is I will probably take a fly rod and some fly fishing gear, and maybe do some fly fishing when I go through there. So this will be what I carry through there. And when I get to the South San Juans, I'm going to kick back into my Zpacks Arc Blast, and I'll go with my heavy gear because it's going to be cold. You're going from 6,000 feet to 10 to 13,000 feet, so I'll take a mummy bag, I'll take my down gear, I'll take my micro spikes, I'll take a ice axe, and that pack will be a whole lot heavier. And but this will be the first part of the CDT. Or good for a summer hike anywhere. So let's pack it all up and we'll see what she weighs. I've got a feeling this thing's going to be pretty darn light.